last couple of days I've been trying to get out and film this segment, but the rain keeps beating me, and we've had a pretty weird season this year. The rains came really early, and I think that had a lot to do with the amount of water that was in Australia with the El Nino or El Numo, whatever it's called, I don't know. But what it's caused is massive, lots of flooding and a lot of disruption, flash flooding too, really violent over here in Bali. So look, a lot of people are asking me at the moment, what's with the wet season and traveling to Bali in the middle of the wet season. So let me just tell you a couple of basic facts. The closer you get to the equator, the less difference there is between summer and winter. In fact, up here in Bali, there's virtually no difference at all in the temperature, and there's a bit of difference in the weather patterns. So the tropical storms come around Christmas time, so around December, January, and they last through till sometimes May, even June, depending on the season. So in the summer season for Australia, or the winter season for the north hemisphere, the equator has a wet season, and you get some torrential rains. You get some, oh, look at this. You get some flash flooding. And at times you get some pretty diabolical weather. So I get asked quite a bit, is it worth coming to Bali in the wet season? And I want to try and give you as straight up an answer as I can, because it's not everyone's cup of tea. If you're coming over here to work on your suntan and to sit around beside the pool all day every day drinking pina coladas, if the suntan is a big part of it, then you're probably not going to be overly enthusiastic on a bad day in Bali. Now, let me put it into perspective though. A good day in Bali is high 20s, low 30s, sunny, beautiful, a little bit humid, but quite tolerable. On a bad day in Bali, you're likely to get, especially during the winter season, you're likely to get maybe an hour or two of rain at the very most. Usually about sometimes 10 or 30 minutes of really heavy rain, a little bit of light drizzle like we've got now, just a few little smatterings of rain, but everything's wet, it's clean. It's soaking, there's some big puddles everywhere, and I tell you what, the puddles hide the biggest potholes sometimes too, so it can still be a little bit tricky to drive around, but generally you don't get a whole day of rain, and you're certainly not likely to get a whole week of rain, but it can happen. And look, in the wet season it will rain nearly every day, and usually it'll roll in by the afternoon for a couple of hours, and then by the evening it'll clean up, or it won't come until night time. Or today we've had a little bit of drizzle during the day. It's not terribly hard, and it's not terribly horrific, and you can see that a lot of people are riding around wearing little plastic ponchos. Now, I went and spent a couple of $100 on a Kathmandu rain jacket, and I thought that'll be perfect for getting around Bali. It rolls up to a fairly compact little form, and I can roll it up, put it under my seat. And I got here, and nearly every single bike you rent or everyone's scooter has these little ponchos, and to be honest, they're about 20 or 30 cents each, and they're just plastic. They roll up to nothing, or they've got even bigger ones and sort of heavier canvasy sort of ones that are really good. So should you bother about bringing something like that over, if you've got a light spray jacket that's waterproof, yeah, bring it along. You're not going to wear it very long, and the minute the rain stops, you'll see everyone pulls over again and throws their jackets back onto the seat. So they're very, very much used to it here. The minute it rains, everyone just pulls over under a tree or under an awning of a shop, throws their jackets on. As soon as it stops raining, they're out and about once again. So they make do pretty well, and it's not too much of an inconvenience. All the tours are working, although in extreme rain, some of the water tours like the whitewater rafting and stuff like that, is a little bit more extreme, or some of the different courses or some of the activities might be restricted because of the rain. But generally everything's happening. You're just going to have an umbrella or a raincoat for a couple of hours, and a worst case scenario they'll just sort of slow it down a little bit and get you back on your way. It makes a good time to go and have a coffee, go and grab some lunch or something, and then get back on your way. So listen, is it worth coming to Bali in off season? Well, look, one of the positive sides is the prices are usually a lot better for accommodation, and because there's not as many people, you usually got a little bit more, less lineups at some of the attractions and a little bit more to do. Again, you got to pick your times, and you can be just lucky. There's no guarantee of the weather, there never is, but generally, and for the last God knows how many years, it's been, you know, pretty much sort of from about June right through till about December, you're just about guaranteed it's clear, and then it starts to get a bit gnarly again. So this year it started October. I'm hoping that means by about Easter it's going to clear up, but who knows? We just don't know. Many of the restaurants, many of the outdoor activities, I go down to the Jimaran seafood market, and they are geared up with massive undercover areas for the bad weather, but it's not the same as sitting out watching a sunset at the beach. But hey, that's going on holidays. You can go anywhere on holidays and have bad weather. Here it's a little bit more predictable, and it's quite tolerable. So the average temperature today is about 23 degrees Celsius, and it's probably going to be about the same all day. So you can get around a t-shirt and shorts easily. You won't need a hoodie or something generally. A throw-over jacket or a light jacket is a bit of an advantage, but it's not going to be anywhere near as cold as it might get elsewhere, unless you're going up into Ubud or up into the mountains somewhere where it can get quite chilly. During the summertime, look, I wear a pair of thongs or jandals or flip-flops or slippers, whatever you want to call them, pretty much every day of the week. It's the standard licensed footwear here, and the only times I ever wear shoes is when I need to put, there's a nice little row of Harley Davidson's going past me there, when I need to put shoes on to go to somewhere like Shishi, my favourite nightclub, and they've got a bit of a dress code. But other than that, singlet tops and t-shirts are well and truly enough, and shorts for a guy, and skirts and shorts, sundresses and stuff like that are the go for most ladies. Look, I just want to do a real quick update. Yesterday I did a bit about the wet season, about the fact that we had torrential rain for about, only about half an hour probably at the most, but then it floods the streets and it's wet, and everyone's sort of, it cools the place down a bit, and then almost straight away after that it cleared up, and gradually the puddles disappeared mostly. And then today, beautiful blue skies. Hey boss.
Hi.
And Bali's back to being a holiday destination. So look, this time of year is not a bad time of year to pop over here, because usually you get a little bit cheaper rates. You might get a bit of rain, but it's not going to really have a huge impact on your tours, your activities. You can still snorkeling, let's face it, you're going to be wet anyway. They tend to have these short, sharp bursts of rain that really usually clear up, and it's normally only for like an hour or so in the afternoon, sometimes in the morning, very rarely. But it's the tropics, and you're going to mix some beautiful sunshine with some maybe a bit of inclement weather, and that sort of goes right through our summer and into sort of autumn months for us. So it is there, but as you see today, beautiful blue skies, lovely day, and definitely the place is just teeming out and about today. I mean, tons of traffic. There's always tons of traffic. This is Bali, but it's a lovely day to be here, and a lovely time of year. So if you're wondering about should I come over this time of year, if you really need that, I'm here to get my suntan on. Yeah, maybe a little bit disappointed, but if you're here to explore and have some fun, there's always activities you can do. And let's face it, there's plenty of activities. You don't need the sun pour over here. Oh, the $5 massages with the $10 happy ending. I'm not saying anything about them, but you can come here and tell me all about it when you get here. See you guys, have fun. See you when you get here.